grape, you have to go get grape. And so what it does, it allows you to make these decisions that are a lot smarter than copying a cut. You're copying a direction. So that what it does, it allows people to be able to be satisfied, and you're not having to wait 2 years till you're magically bestowed with this valuable plant. You just say, listen, we need grape. Let's go into grape, let's hunt grape, and let's get grape in the market. And then what it does, it allows you to be able to ride the trend. And so what you're trying to do, and which you never want to do, is you're always trying to make sure you have something of every category in your portfolio, and you're never leaving any of them out. It's what you're doing is it's your ratios. So when California was red hot on fuel, 80% of my crop is fuel. The other 20% is the other 3 varieties. Because what happens is people who you would miss with, they don't want to buy gas, they buy your fruit variety, they buy your earth variety, they like it. When their brother says, man, that was pretty good, I wonder if they grow gas. Oh, they grow gas. And that's your advertising. So the subsets that you put out allow you to tap into markets in the right ratio. So it might only be 20 pounds, it might only be 30 pounds, the other 700 pounds of fuel. But when this thing shifts, you're able to understand the shift by paying attention to what people are talking about, and what flavor trends are coming. And what it does, it allows you to say, okay, they're moving into where. And when it comes to the categories, it's so much easier to use this language to speak to people. Because when I say to you, man, that is a fucking phenomenal jar of methylbutyric acid, you're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I meant cheese. And so the point is that people aren't scientists, nor do they want to be scientists. They just want to feel scientific. And what you want to do is you want to light a fire in them to go dig this information up. But what you want to be able to do is understand it in a big picture, so that you can get people caught up in language that we both can use. So I can say, man, this shit smells like leather. Do you like leather? No, I hate leather. What do you like? Man, I like sage. I said, oh, I got you. You like a floral. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I got you. And it allows you to help people instantly. And what it does, it teaches them how to buy, so that when they go to other stores, they're able to say, what do you want? Well, you know what I like? I like things that are gassy with some kind of citrus. So it could be a lemon or a lime or an orange, but I like a citrus with gas. You think they like that? And they go, yeah. And it's how you expedite a sale, and it's how you create a situation where your bud tenders become instantly far more knowledgeable, because you're not forcing them to spend their whole lives in a subject just to get a minimum wage paycheck. And so what you're doing is you're saying, hey, when people come in, the feedback we received was this was pretty gassy. The feedback was this was a really good fruit, and we've sold a lot of it, so I think it's a solid sale. And then as we see the velocity of it change, and we see velocity, when you're looking at SKUs and velocity, don't look at them as individuals anymore. Put them in the 4 groups. The 4 groups now make it easy to see what's happening. I'm only looking at 4 things, not 4,000. And I can see which one's moving, and I know I need to move in my trend. I need to see that earths are starting to become very popular. Peanut butter breaths, all the cookies in earth, right? When all that shit was running wild, it took away from the fuel. If you didn't go into that direction, you missed out on that whole market. And as you start to see fuel dropping and earth rising, you need to go into it. You do not need to chase the hot cut. You need to chase the experience. You need to chase the fact that people are excited about earth. Does this satisfy earth? Yes. When you consume it, is it awesome as an earth? Yes. You have a marketable plant. Don't chase cuts. And I'm someone who traffics jeans. Like I'm telling people all the time, don't chase a trend. You're already too late. You missed it. If you weren't in it when it got hot, you missed it. But what you need to do is understand that whatever was hot is going to drive an awareness and a satisfaction to it fails. But because it was so satisfactory, people don't want to leave it completely. They just want to have a little difference. And so it allows you to kind of figure out, as things start to zenith and they splinter, you can say, okay, we're working on lemons, but what we need to do is start interjecting gas into it, because we start to see that this is where we're going to have this next wave. What I do is I run all 4 categories in anything I think is hot. That way, no matter what, I can see where the outliers pop, right? But what it's doing is it's just allowing you to be able to see trends easily, and then to respond to them. and then to understand in a library, what are you doing? Where was I at? I was in Toronto. I was on a stage with a guy, and he goes, I got 800 cultivars. And I said, no, you really got like 40 times 20. You got the same shit, just you're calling it different things. And you have to be clear about it, because this idea that you have this incredible 800, it's not real. People don't perceive it as such. It's in categories. It's how they shop and buy. And so what you want to do is you want to not have 800 plants. You want to have 40 that represent the 4 categories that are fucking phenomenal. And that lets you move your palette continuously. And so it's so simple to see this that it's almost like it can't work. And the science teams that accosted me, we all laugh because we present this to countries all over the world now. But the science teams, we all laugh because when I explained to them our relationship, I said, oh, they were trying to prove me wrong, and they were here to brawl. And we ended up becoming friends because the information was right. And what it did is it sent them on a radically different direction on how to look at things, because it lets them know now that these substances that create scent in cannabis are so complex, and until we start really getting better analytics, we have to use just these, what do I call it, perception. So the original name of the work was Categories of Perception, because it's how you believe it to be. So even if we went into like we use peanut butter breath again, right? I go into the line, am I getting one that's earthy or gassy? Because if I was to run into PB, I could get one that was earthy and awesome and gassy is awesome, and I could actually have it in both of my categories, so that depending on what you wanted, I could steer you into it. But ultimately, yeah, they're both sisters, but one expresses in an earth, one expresses in a fuel. So it's so simple, because the name doesn't dictate the experience as much as what is the perception of the scent and what direction are you classifying it as. And so it makes it fun to do this stuff with people, because everybody feels smart, because you don't have to be a scientist and understand complex molecular compounds to say, this smells like my grandmother's sock drawer, right? And we have primal memory patterns. So our olfactory ability is incredible, but the memory is profound, and it's what saves us. It's what tells us don't eat rotten meat. And the ability to be able to tie these descriptions into things that can evoke emotion and get a response is how you get people to get caught up in what you're doing. You have to remember that cannabis is an experiential drug. It's not a casual. It's not like you're drinking a glass of milk. It's about to grab you and shake you for a little bit. And in that, you would prefer it if it shook you in the direction you wanted to go. The ability for you to explain this to somebody so that you can buy your product and leave and then be satisfied means that you are now happy and will talk about the product. And the person who sold the product, meaning the store, will look good as a purveyor. And because the velocity of the product is fast, they'll rebuy from the farm. So easy communication, simplicity, and not trying to wow people with your scientific knowledge. And you end up having a really educated group of people around you quickly. So we're getting, how much time we got?
You got 20 minutes.
Easy. So we'll pause for a second and say, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I do. I'm just wondering about resources for a lot of that information, if it's available online, or if it's something you teach, or if it's...
You start again, bro?